So Charlie Kirk, a MAGA bigot and known racist with no principles who jumped through hoops to defend Trump no matter what. He is blowing a dog whistle again to blame DEI for the tragedy in Kirk County that took the lives of over 150 people and counting.
We are in a state of national mourning, as we should be. And the Democrats, they're so despicable. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence. This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. Let me prove it to you. You know, when you're putting out fires, you got to make sure that you have a diverse fighting force. All jokes aside, well, the pressure was on the city to prove its diversity credentials. So a few years later, they picked Joel Baker as their first black fire chief. He announced right away that promoting diversity is one of his top priorities. They brought him in from Atlanta, and his priority was not putting out fires or being prepared for floods. No, his priority was to make sure that the fire department was blacker.
You know, the usual racial trope: blame the closest black guy to deflect from the incompetency of the Trump administration and from the Republican governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. So let me give you the real story. Chief Joe G. Baker, Austin's first black fire chief, has authority over the city of Austin and Travis County. He does not hold direct jurisdiction over Kirk County, where the tragedy happened, or other neighboring region. However, counties without municipal fire departments, like parts of Kirk County, often receive fire and emergency assistance through mutual aid agreements. These are governed by protocols like the Texas Interstate Fire Mutual Aid System, the TIFMAS, and coordinated through Texas A&M Task Force System. Under these agreements, the Austin Fire Department can choose to send resources outside its city limits once officially requested. Those resources deploy as mutual aid, but the Austin Fire Department chief must still approve them and ensure adequate coverage remains in Austin. According to reports, Baker paused such deployment in early June due to unresolved state reimbursement issues, specifically the city awaiting reimbursement totaling around $800,000. Now that's the key. So, who is to blame here? The state of Texas, via TDEM, has not reimbursed Austin Fire Department, prompting the city of Austin to limit mutual aid deployment to avoid budget overages. So, who is withholding the reimbursement? That should be the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, a Republican, who has ultimate oversight over Texas Division of Emergency Management, the TDEM, the agency responsible for mutual aid reimbursement. This governor is extremely political, like Senator Ted Cruz, and his priority is using funding to punish Democrat-run cities and to prioritize foreign governments like Israel. This is the same governor who threatened to withhold state grants from the city of San Marcos when the city reviewed its tax flow and found that approximately $4.4 million of federal and state tax dollars originating from San Marcos residents is ultimately flowing to Israel military complex to fund its war and genocide in Gaza. The city proposed a resolution to reallocate those funds to state needs, such as emergency response, and to reduce the tax on its residents. But Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded by threatening to pull state funding. So let's get this straight. Governor Greg Abbott is willing to withhold $800,000 from Austin over political differences, but is willing to defend $4.4 million flowing to Israel military and to fund their genocide in Gaza, and threatened a city of Texas. But that's the point. He is willing to withhold funds from Texans to fund foreign government. And people like Charlie Kirk ignore all that and blame Democrats if it's a white person, but if it's a black person, he blames DEI. And he spread this all over the ecosystem of the MAGA poorly educated voters. And then they carry this on and spread it over and perpetuate racism and racial tropes.